Hello, this is Ibrahim, and I'm back again with a new video on OpenCV. In the previous video, I've talked about loading an image and how to change the colors a bit. We changed the color to gray, and then we loaded a couple of images. Now the process was very simple and was very straightforward. In this tutorial, we're going to talk about loading instead of loading an image, we're going to load it from a from a webcam or a video source. Now the concept is the same though, be it a video or a webcam, you're basically streaming frames. And OpenCV treats them pretty much in the same class, use the same class to import videos, and you use the same class to connect a webcam and stream the frames. Now it's very simple, so let's jump right in. Okay, so the very first thing with OpenCV, definitely you need to import CV2, which is basically the library. However, this time we need to import NumPy as well. If you remember, before installing OpenCV, it was a requirement that you have NumPy installed in your system. The reason being, OpenCV actually requires NumPy classes to function. There are many core functions or classes in NumPy that actually utilize, many classes in CV2 or CV Library, OpenCV Library, that actually require NumPy classes. Now, with that out of the way, we've imported NumPy and we've imported OpenCV Library. What we need to do is we need to use the class that connects to the webcam, or the class that references a video and that enables us to stream the frames of the video or of the webcam. And luckily in OpenCV that's very straightforward. So we're going to use the CV2 library, and we're going to use the class VideoCapture. Now VideoCapture can, again as I said, can load from a video source, say for example tested API, assuming that the video is actually located in the same folder of the source code. Otherwise, you could specify C if you're in Windows and so on and so forth, or depending on your platform. Now, if we want to connect to the camera, we supply in the index, the webcam index. So if you are the primary webcam, if you have multiple webcams connected, you would want to use 0 or -1. In my case, the primary camera, I'll be using 0. However, I'll be using the secondary camera I have. I'll not be using the primary, because basically the primary is just a virtual camera. I've used it for other purposes. Now we want to store the object created here in a variable, and we shall name it cam. Now cam has the source and is an object that actually references the webcam that we have. So now it's ready to stream videos of this object. We're ready to stream objects of this ready to stream frames of this object. Now moving along, what we could do also is that we could actually, now since we have the camera object, the webcam, we can actually get some information of the webcam. Say for example the window width, the resolution, and so on and so forth. In OpenCV there are actually a list of properties that we could utilize. Say for example, let us print the camera, say for example the width. We could do that using cam.get and the index of 3. Cam.get and the index of 3. I'll tell you where did we get the 3 from. Let's save this file. There was the previous tutorial, so we're going to name this as 2. So now let's run this. Let's see the result of this. Now we've got the shell is here. I don't know why it keeps moving to the other window. So basically this is the result. The width of the camera 640. Now you can see that we've connected. This is just an object to the reference. We did not tell it to show anything from this object, not a frame, nothing. So we just displayed the properties. Let me pull up the properties that I've been telling you about. Here is the list. That is a list of basically this is 3 beta. I'm using 3.1, so you have to take care of the properties of the version you're looking at, the documentation version you're looking at. So in our case, these are the properties, and this is the function get. This is the VideoCapture GET. These are the properties. So I supplied them 3, 0, 1, 2, 3, which is the width. Let's choose the height and choose number 4. So we should be getting 480 because those are the dimensions. So 480. Now instead of using the index, let's supply in the wording, the property wording. So in this, since I'm using 3.4, 3.1, OpenCV 3.1, the way naming works is that you neglect the CV, so you basically use the class and the property name. So in this case, let's do this. So we're going to use the library CV2 and then the property name, like so. So remember here we remove the CV underscore. So let's run this and see the result, and voila, it's actually 640. So if you want to choose the height or any other parameter, we can do the same using the properties here, the saturation, the contrast, the mode. And I don't think my camera is very basic here, the secondary one, so I don't think it has any of this information. However, you can see that you could get this information if you're using the camera, not a webcam, a professional camera that supports this. Let's try to use this. Maybe this will get us something if we're lucky. Let's run this 5. Okay, it's -1. Basically, I don't think that's sufficient information in here. So that out of the way, now that we've connected to the stream of videos, basically the webcam or the video. Do excuse me if I said that this is for only professional cameras. Your webcam could support these features, but so you could try that out. Anyways, what I meant to differentiate between a camera and a video. So yeah, now that we've connected to a source, to a streaming source, which is basically our secondary webcam, the one here, what we could do now is that we could try this PlayerFrame. Now doing so is by using this object and using the method read. Now this one returns basically a tulip containing 3 main items. Basically it would contain, let me just fix the microphone here, it's been bugging me, it's on the way. Okay, I hope you still can hear me though. So basically this .read method returns true or false. If a frame is if there is a frame, it returns a true or false for a frame. If it's false, means but there is no frame. Basically it would mean that connection to the camera has been lost, so there are buggy connection, whatever. Yeah. And then it will also return the frame itself. Basically this is represented in matrices and reflected in the numbers, and then the data type. This is basically a NumPy class. It's a NumPy class data type. Mostly you would, if you print this one out, you will get an unsigned integer 8. Unsigned integer 8 basically means the representations between 8 from 0 to 225, 255 numbers. So yeah, now since we get to do the read, now we get this tulip. Now what we need to do is we do not need the data type. There is no reason to print the data type, but we might need the true and false to verify that the frames are read correctly. So we could read that in a, say, true or false variable, and we could also read the frame, store it in a variable frame, like so. So this one would store the frame in a frame, and true and false and true and false. And then what we could do is that now we need to print or show the frame that we have stored in here, right here. So we could do that as we have read in the previous, seen in the previous video, previous tutorial. We did that using the library CV2 and then image show, IAmShow, and then we supply the title for the window that we need to title for the window we're displaying, say single frame like so, and then we supply in the frame that we want to display like so. And then now this will show the frame. And again, when we need to, there is something we need to consider though. Since we've established the connection to the webcam here, so the connection is actually reserved, so the webcam would not be used by any other software. So what we need to do is basically release the connection using cam, and luckily we have the method OpenCV, which released like so. And after that, now since we are showing the window here, we can release the window, destroy the window just like the way we did in the previous tutorial. Sorry, I do apologize for the mistakes I'm making. Destroy all windows like so. If we want to destroy a specific window, then we can use the method destroy window. And then we supply in the window name here in a string. There we are, or a variable name, depends where the name is stored in. So basically that's it. So this will display a single frame, and then it will simply go. There we go. Let's try this before I add any more information to this, and let's see what actually happens. I do apologize for the frame being appearing in this next screen. Generally, it is just blinking, just showing and going away. Let me see if I could show you here. Let me run this again. I hope it would be able to. I couldn't really catch it, it just disappears. So yeah, moving along. I'm not sure how to, because it's being displayed on the primary window. So let's not waste time on that one. I'll try to fix it later on. So moving on. So we get to display. So the thing is, what happens here? The image shows and disappears by default. So what we could do is we could wait for a key press, and then doing so using the library CV2, and there is a method called WaitKey, and then we supply it in a number. You can see in the tooltip there is a delay. So if we specify, say, a number here, say for example 10 milliseconds, the window will automatically close after 10 milliseconds. If we supply in a 0, it will not close unless something happens. So in this case, we should be able to see the window in this case. So we'll run it, we save, and the window shows single frame. So there is the single frame is basically loaded a black frame, which is the very first frame from the webcam. So what we could do to verify that we actually have a frame, we could print true or false. If it's true, then there is an actual frame. If it's false, then like so, and there is true there is a frame here. So let's move on and create more interesting stuff with this. Now let us stream the video. Now instead of us displaying a single frame, how about we keep displaying the frames coming from the webcam? Now in this case, what we could do, and we could create an infinite loop and keep creating frames. Now we could create a for loop just before here. So when we create the connection, we want to keep looping while true. This means there is an infinite loop like so. So we want to keep looping and storing the frame and true and false in these two variables. And then there is the frame here. We could remove this comment now. So we could print true and false. We could leave that just to verify, and then we could keep showing the image. There's the frame, and then let's try this. I want to show you something real quick. So let's store the key. Let's wait for no need. Just let's skip this. And then I want to show you something real quick. So you can see here, this is the frame. You can see that we keep looping here. And if we close the window, we'll get the next frame from the camera, and here it is. Now here is the victory sign. Let me show you. Let me bring the screen. Here is the victory sign. Here is the thumbs up sign. There we go. That is the thumbs up sign. So what's happening now, and you can see that we keep getting the frame by getting the true here. What's happening here is that we're reading the frames, and then we're printing true or false, and then we're showing the frame, and then we're waiting for a key to be, and then we're keeping the frame here, not losing the frame unless the user clicks on exit, clicks the exit button, and then it keeps looping again. So this will not be executed because we did not exit the loop in any way. So let's try to fix that and get around that. And now for me, I have to force close this one, force close the system. Just restart it to be safe. There we go. And now what we need to do is we need to fix this. We should not keep it looping. Now what we could do is that we could store key pressed by the user, and then we could check if key is equal to escape, which is basically denoted by the number 27, the representation. Sorry for this. This is an if statement. And then with the comment here is basically escape key, the 27, and then we should break the loop like that. And voila. So let's run this and see what happens. And there we go. Now here is the frame. So if we keep closing the frame, it keeps opening back again. And here we are. So unless we press the escape key, this will not quit. So let me press the escape key now. Sorry. There we are. So now we exited the program. So now what we could also do, now instead of us displaying a single frame at a time, what we could do is that we could keep the stream coming. Now instead of us waiting for something to happen to move to the next frame, we could close the frame automatically after 1 millisecond. So this will close automatically, and if there is a key pressed, there is an escape key pressed, the program will quit and come to release the camera and destroy all windows. We press F5 and run the program again. So here we are. You can see that the loop is running. Now I'm talking. Hello. Victory sign. Thumbs up. You see this keeps looping and looping and looping and looping. Unless I press the escape key, it will not exit. So what we could also do, we could also verify if the key being pressed, let's say for example, we want to make sure that the user pressed, say for example, if the user pressed an X key, the key X, it would display a message of given, let's display any random message. So we do that by ORD, and then we supply in the character. Say for example X, which means basically the user pressed the letter X. So what we want to do here, we want to display something. You have pressed the letter X, like so. And let's run this again. Save and run. Let me bring the window back here. And this is what's actually happening. I'm talking, and you see if I press the letter X, keep an eye out here. See, you have pressed the letter X. You have pressed the letter X, and then I'll just quit here. And I should stop printing this for now. I'll just leave it there as leave it out there as a comment. I believe we've done pretty much almost what we need. So we keep streaming the camera. We keep looking at the camera. Frames keep coming unless we press the escape key, and we could also break if we press the X key by simply changing this to break, like so. We could do whatever we please now. So the thing is quite simple. Now what we could do though, we could play around with the frame. Now this is interesting, isn't it? Now before we display the frame here, we could play around with it. And if you remember previously on the previous tutorial, we've showed you how to play around with the image that you've loaded. We changed it to gray and stuff and so on and so forth. What you could do now is just the same. Remember, we're dealing with a single frame at a time. So remember, a stream of a video or a video is basically a stream of frames. A webcam streams frames as well. So what we could do is we could change the frame here. Before we display it, we want to just change it to a gray color. So CV2, we use the library CV2, and then we use a method called convert color, capital C. Remember the Campbell notation and PEP8. Anyway, so CVT is basically convert color. And then what we could do here is that we use the parameters, and then basically we supply in the frame that we want to change the colors of. This is the frame name, and then we could use the cv2 dot color underscore b. There we go. Yeah, b, yeah, blue, green, red to gray color. So what this one does is basically changes this frame from its original status colorful status to gray color. So now we will display the webcam. Remember, it keeps on streaming. We remove the true and false, the thing that keeps them coming out in the shell, and then we should get a clean output now in gray color. And there we are. See, I'm in gray, I'm an old school, whatever. Anyway, so this is what's happening now. We're changing every single frame to this. And then if we press X, we'll get the letter that we press the letter X. Now if I press any other letter, as you can see, I'm pressing other letters here, nothing happens. So it just keeps streaming the frames. So I think we've done a good job here. And what we could do now is, so we basically change the frame and so on and so forth. Let me press the escape key just to exit this one. So yeah, basically what we have done is the primary thing, and we've loaded, we've connected to a screen, to a webcam, and then we stream frames. We display the frames, and then we change the color of every single frame that we want to display. And then we waited for the user to press an escape key to exit the window that displays the frames. And then if the user presses any letter, we display the letter that's being clicked. What we have also done, which is very important, we released the camera and destroyed all opened windows. And also there are several other, in case we want to change to other color formats or color spaces, you can, for example, there is also the method HSV, the cylindrical colors. So what you could do, simply, it's built-in already, so you could see now what happens. Completely colorful here. There we go. And there are many other formats that we could utilize here. So yeah, let's press exit. So basically that's it. It's very simple, it's very straightforward. I'll try to add a link to the documentation here just for you to play around with. And yeah, basically what you could also do here, for example, if you get the colors in here, what you could do, you could define a certain range. For example, that you want to define the blue. So what you could do, basically, say for example, a higher, an upper blue, for example, or the upper green, maybe. So say for example, you just want to display the blue maybe or something. Let's try out this one. Yeah, for example, upper blue, let's upper B, for example, name it upper blue. So in this case we will be using NumPy library, and then array, and then we supply in the data type, which is basically the color. For this one, say for example, I'm not sure what the blue would represent, but let me look it up very quickly. It's basically we play on the blue color, so the other one would be 22, 25, 25. This one would be here 225, 255, and then this one would probably be maybe 120. Probably, I'm not really sure about this, but we're just playing around with the colors here. So you could go to any source where you get to work with the blue colors in an RGB mode, in a BGR mode, and then we could say, for example, the lower blue. So we could supply in this one the lowest value possible, maybe Could be 100. I'm not really sure about this. I may be mistaken. And these maybe whatever color you please. Maybe this one could be anything else. Say 100, 100. I'm not really sure what the hell is this number is. What's this representation really actually means. Anyway, so and then we define the range of a blue color that we really want to display. And then what you could do is basically create a mask that hides the other colors, and then supplying in the lower range and the higher range. So this could be presented as mask, if I recall correctly, and then we use the library CV2, and then there is a method called inRange, and then we supply in the representation that we've the image that we created, which is basically the frame, and then we supply in the lower the lower blue underscore blue, and then the upper blue as well, underscore blue. I hope I did not there is no problem in the spellings there. So this one will basically retrieve only the blue colors. So again, I'm not really sure about the minimum bluish value in the GBR model. I just used the random numbers. I may be wrong on this one. And then the higher blues as well. I know for the higher blues, the other one would be 255, 255, which is total bright blue. But I'm not really sure about the other ones. You may want to consult an internet tool or something, an online tool or something. So, and then what we need to do after that is just apply the mask. So this one would be the final frame. What could it be represented as? We could use this, rename the original frame, and then we could use CV2, the original library bitwise, and then if I'm not mistaken, we apply the AND, because you have the AND and the OR. So on the bitwise, you apply the AND, you AND the original one. Sorry, you sort of create an AND. You have an AND and the OR. So AND is basically on tops of the other one, and then you could, so you supply in the original frame, which is basically the frame, and then you should apply the mask as well, if I'm not mistaken. Mask would equal, because there are several other parameters, just to be sure, the frame would be the frame. The frame would equal the frame, maybe like so, if I'm not mistaken. I hope I'm not. So we could display the frame now. Let's try and run it. So hopefully this would require SRC position if found. Oh, I think this one goes like this. If I'm not mistaken. Let's say this. It gives it the original frame as well as the. Yep, here we go. There's no blue, so hopefully in this I'll get to show you. Let me look at the blue thing. Nothing have. So basically, you get the general notion of this. You get where this is coming from. So you can play around with the frames, each single frame, and then it keeps on looping, so it keeps on displaying the frames, and so on and so forth. The other thing, I think that's it. So you can do whatever you please. I think yeah, I think I should leave this one for another tutorial. So yeah, thank you for. I do apologize for the lengthy video. I tried to cover as many concepts as I could, and if you have any questions, feel free to drop me a message. Yeah, so basically that's it. I'll also add links to the OpenCV documentation 3.1 for the convert color method. You could see the enumerations that you could use from, as well as the indexes as well. Thank you for following along, and have a good day.